Now get to see two guys that are adults, right? The first time they fought, they were children. Max was a kid, Conor was a kid. These guys are going to be grown men fighting in what will be... It's hard to think that an event will get bigger after this, but every time Conor McGregor is here, it's bigger and it's better. Sport's better with this man in the fight game, so...
It's going to be bananas. I mean, people are going to go crazy for the return of Conor McGregor because he's a giant personality.
But don't expect the same...
How could
you just can't?
It's been 5
years. But that's the problem.
It might be more.
Because they're going to all
expect that. I think it is a little over 5. It's almost 6, I think.
It might be 6 at the time of the fight.
It might be 6. I think it's 5. I think it's 5 right now.
Are we expecting to see a Conor that looked like Nate this last fight? Or are we expecting to see a better Conor than someone that looked like Nate? Because Nate did not look good.
As the fight gets closer, one thing has become obvious. There isn't a clear favorite in the eyes of the MMA world anymore. That's what makes UFC 329 so fascinating. Depending on who you ask, you'll hear 2 completely different predictions, and both of them make a lot of sense. On one side, many believe this is Conor McGregor's moment. They look at the latest training footage, his physical transformation, his confidence during interviews, and the way he's spoken throughout this camp, and they see a fighter who's completely reinvented himself.
Oh, yeah, that's part of the fun of it, you know. Here's what I can say. I've never seen a situation where coming back from such a long layoff is a good thing. Layoffs in this business are, you know, you got to stay active, you got to stay busy. But again, you're talking about a guy like Conor who has that knockout power. And Max Holloway's, you know, one of the greatest ever.
You just walked up the stairs and you stood there and you kind of took it in. You took a big breath. Can you take us into your mind? What are you thinking? What are you feeling?
Confidence, absolute confidence and excitement to do my job. Happy to be back.
Is that a big part of you getting back here, is having the confidence to walk in front of everybody, and after what happened to you and some of the losses and setbacks and the comeback and everything else, how hard was it? We always remember you being a confident guy. How hard was it to find that confidence again?
You know, you got to dig deep and you got to prove to yourself you are what you say you are. And so that was what it was for me. I was using it as motivation. It takes a lot of, you know, deep internal work to return from an injury like that, and circumstances surrounding it, and I just use that as motivation. Lovely. I wish for it to be that way, because now I can show, and on Saturday night I'm going to show.
Too much for Conor, and you're going to just see Max get his hand raised, maybe get a finish. Can he hurt him, get him to the ground, and then maybe get a submission? You could maybe see that as well. When people crumble and get really tired, there's always a submission there. Gamble responsibly, but there's probably good coin for a submission over a TKO. If you wanted to be a sneaky bet, that could be something, because he will melt him. And when he's melting and just sort of going there shooting because he's so tired, is a submission going to be the way to go? When he turns over and just gives it back, and then, all right, may as well take the submission.
Fighting at a more natural weight has many believing he'll be faster, stronger, and fresher than we've seen in years.
It's gonna be dangerous everywhere. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't know if you guys see that freaking stupid ass stat, but Conor has like 5 takedowns and 4 of them is me. So it's not only his left hand, he might in his back pocket think, oh, I can wrestle this guy maybe, you know? Yeah. And then everybody keep talking about his leg, but I think Conor kicks, you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, there's a lot more than just his left hand, you know? And if Conor's thinking only his left hand, then he's already behind in the fight. So I think so we're going to see a very dangerous mix.
Per 170. But the thing about Conor at 170, he's going to thump. He's going to thump. His punches are going to be heavy and hard. So Max is going to have to be very, very alert early on. That first 10 minutes of that fight, Max cannot sit there and exchange with him. Conor's going to be stalking him down, maybe trying to stomp his leg a bit, ripping 3-2s, throwing heavy bouts. So this video here was posted about 5 months ago on the Mac Life page. Him getting ready and looking thick. Thick Conor's a scary Conor, and he's a springy dude. Springy dude. Orthodox there. Ripping bodies, ripping juicers of the guts. We love those. Springing into a left knee. And he's looking like, I mean, vintage Conor, the nasty left hand.
Without having to put his body through brutal weight cuts. If that version of McGregor turns up, they believe his timing and precision could make him incredibly dangerous during the opening rounds.
Made a secret of it. I'm a massive Conor fan, but I'm also a massive Max fan. You know, Conor started coming up when I was just starting out my pro career. His UFC run started. So he was a guy that I genuinely looked up to as I progressed in the sport. Imagine this. Imagine Conor beating Max Holloway and getting that title shot.
I think if there's one guy who can rip up the script, it's Conor McGregor.
As he's done so many times. Yeah. I'm going with the Mac. I'm never going against it. I'm never going against Conor. Yeah, okay. No matter against, like, Max Holloway, massive fan, love him. He's a great fighter, and you know he's a deserving of everything that he's gotten and all the praise. But I can't go against Conor.
Where do you think Conor could win the fight?
You know, Conor has that scary timing. He has that scary timing. Everybody that's fought him says that. Yeah. That timing, and he has that sneaky power. Everybody that fights him says when he hits you, you feel it.
The way he's going to take this fight.
Yeah. Who? If I put you on the spot, who would you pick, and how?
Max. Yeah.
Max.
I think so. Yeah.
You think he stops him, or could you see this going all 5? Or
I think he's going to stop him.
Yeah.
I think.
So. Yeah, and then it opens up all sorts of interesting opportunities. Like both of them are talking about Gaethje at 55. You know, Islam at welterweight. So who knows? Like there could be a lot of fun stuff. But I think the big thing is, you know, Conor has 1 fight left on the UFC contract after this, and I think he really wants to fight for BKFC at some point. Which
nice.
He's heavily.
I would like to see Conor in BKFC. I think that's his world. I think he'd shine there. Short rounds. You got, you know, heavy punches. The tricky part with BKFC is, which I think will be fine for him, is just such a tight circle. You know, it's going to be tough for a lot of footwork. But yeah, I think if he's in there and he's landing some of those big Conor punches, that's going to be fun to see. So
yeah, we'll see if he does it or if the UFC breaks the bank to keep him around, depending on the success of this event.
I think it ultimately depends on this fight.
Going around the world on his Lamborghini yacht and spending shitloads of dough, right? Fair play to him. But there's one thing he knows how to do, and that's fight. And he knows how to knock people out in the very first round as well. And that first round against Max Holloway is going to be very, very interesting. Max is going to have to be careful. He's not the type of guy to dance around and stay away and just just jab and jog. No, he's going to stand his ground and fight like a man. And that's what's going to make it so dangerous. Because yes, of course, if he gets out of the first round and it goes to the second and the third round, Conor McGregor was never a cardio machine. He was always a guy that tended to fade in the prime of his career. And if he struggled going into the later rounds in the prime of his career when he was coming up, he's certainly going to struggle now when the man's pushing 40 and he hasn't fought in 5 years. Has he trained hard for this fight? Of course he has, 100%. Has he pushed himself harder than what he was doing in 2013, 14, 15? I don't know. I don't know if that's even possible when you have accumulated all the wealth, when you've knocked it out of the park, when you've conquered the game already. Do you still have to train quite as hard?
The biggest argument in McGregor's favor has always been the same. If he finds his rhythm early and begins controlling the distance, very few fighters in UFC history have possessed the accuracy and finishing ability he brings.
So, you know, you have a decision guy versus a sprinter. And again, one of the advantages for Conor is, let's say that ring rust is real for him, which it will be to feel it out. But let's say it's real and he zigged when he should have zagged. You're probably not going to get knocked out by Max Holloway in the first 1 or 2 rounds. You're still okay. Now, if you're fighting an Ilia Topuria, you're fighting some of these other heavy punchers, that's a different story. So again, all this is advantages for Conor. Now, all this being said, we have no clue what version of Conor we're going to get.
Kind of boat, and I think if Conor can put himself back into the grind and be hungry, into that hell zone that, you know, he has to see it in a way that my
Mystic Mac. We need Mystic Mac back, where he's just in
the zone. To see like he's in the tunnel, but the light is after the fight. It's I have to go through that journey in order to see the light. But I'm not gonna put myself in the light until I'm done with the fight. That's if he put himself into that zone we're going to have a hell of a fight.
Obviously, he's going up against Max Holloway in a great fight. How do you see that matchup between those two?
Personally, I think because it's that welterweight, I see Conor knocking him out. Like, everyone's counting Conor out and thinks that Max is going to win. If it goes to the later rounds, yeah, Max definitely probably start piecing him up on the feet because he's got that cardio and the volume, but the fact that it's at welterweight, I think, favours Conor because Charles made Max look small at lightweight. So imagine how big Conor's going to look compared to him at welterweight.
Okay, round one.
Working hard, same thing every day. No ego, we leave our ego at the door. We're learning, working our shots, and preparing ourselves for main event slots here at Straight Blast Gym, Ireland.
He is back for another signature win to prove that he is still one of the best, most skilled mixed martial arts athletes in the world.
His supporters believe he doesn't need 5 rounds to change a fight. He only needs one clean opening, and against someone as aggressive as Holloway, those opportunities could present themselves. But then, there's the other side of the argument, and it's just as convincing. Many believe Max Holloway is simply a completely different fighter from the man McGregor faced all those years ago.
I knew I was going to come back. I learned a lesson in that lapse in concentration in the camp, in preparation, that I have since adjusted. And, you know, that's why I think I'm only warming up here in this game. I really, really believe I'm only warming up. You know, I used to always train a certain way, throw certain shots that the fight game has never even seen. Many shots I have in my arsenal, the fight game has never even seen.
It's bing, 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 ding, 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 ding. It's always in your face. It's constant movement. It's touch, touch, go, touch, touch, move, move, advance, play. It's constant activity. But he doesn't have that one punch power, that shotgun. That's what Conor has. Conor's always had that shotgun. If that left hand lands, it's game over. And he's laser focused with it. So you've got a person who needs to be on that, and then you've got someone who goes boom, 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 boom. If one of them lands, the fight's over.
I'm a big boy now, 170 pounds is my frame, and I like it. I thought I'd give a gift. This is what it should be. Instead of fighting and cutting him, you know, let's do it properly. There's also a tactical reason, Joe. You see, I don't have the advantage in experience at 170 pounds. If I look at Holloway's body of work in recent years, he's been in there a lot. However, he hasn't been at 170 pounds, so that is in my favor.
He's remained active against elite competition, continued evolving, and built a reputation as one of the toughest and most durable athletes in the sport. His pressure never seems to slow down, his cardio is exceptional, and perhaps most importantly, he's become incredibly difficult to discourage once the fight settles into a rhythm. That's why so many predictions come down to one simple question. Can McGregor keep Holloway off him long enough to land the shots that made him famous? Or can Holloway survive those dangerous early exchanges and gradually turn the fight into the relentless pace that has broken so many opponents before?
And like Max Holloway's a family guy, good dude. So is he gonna go super dirty, like personal? Like he even did that with Dustin Poirier and his wife. It's like, I don't know what lane he can take with Max. Also, he's been out for so long. And you know, even the Dustin Poirier build up, he talked all this shit and they see his leg fall off. So I think we're thinking of the days when he was talking all that, we're not here to take part, we're here to take over, all that. That's all fine and dandy when you're winning. When you haven't won in 7 years, it's a tough sell, man, as far as that hype. You know what I'm saying?
The longer the fight lasts, the more people believe the momentum begins swinging towards Holloway. But if McGregor starts fast, finds his range, and reminds everyone why he became one of the biggest stars combat sports has ever produced, the entire fight could change in an instant. That's exactly why this rematch has captured so much attention. It's not just about who wins, it's about which version of both fighters actually shows up. Is this the rebirth of Conor McGregor? Or the night Max Holloway proves that time and experience have finally caught up with one of the sport's greatest icons? Very soon, every prediction, every debate, and every theory will finally be put to the test.